But now to a story new at 6 from the ABC 7 News I-Team.
We are dealing with a culture in our courthouse of judges being excessively lenient.
He had no prior convictions, no record.
It is perhaps the most important debate underway in San Francisco right now: how to combat crime. The DA is spotlighting yet another judge who she says is letting a dangerous criminal off easy. But the public defender argues the defendant deserves another chance.
ABC 7 News I-Team reporter Dan Noyes has obtained evidence in an armed robbery spree and covered the sentencing hearing this week.
And he's here now with the latest.
Dan and Amma, over the past few years, I've highlighted various judges facing complaints that their easy sentences don't do enough to deter crime. And the public defender's office has always given me written statements for those reports. But tonight, their first interview in this ongoing and important debate.
The defendant, 25-year-old Gerardo Saavedra, grew up in the East Bay, graduated from Fairfield High, dreamed of playing professional soccer. But court exhibits obtained by the I-Team show on a Friday night in September 2023, he brought a ghost gun to San Francisco, dropped his girlfriend at a bar, and went on a 2-hour armed robbery spree.
San Francisco 911.
Hi, we were at the Paramount 680 Mission, and we just got mugged.
His victims, 5 women in their 20s, including some tourists out for an enjoyable evening. They told police Saavedra got their attention by racking his handgun.
What do you do with the gun when you first?
He just cocked it, or I heard the click.
Oh, you heard like a click sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the victims had an app to track her phone and help police find Saavedra.
There's a gun.
When they pulled over his car, they found the ghost gun, a magazine with ammunition, and the victim's purses, IDs, keys, and credit cards.
You can sit down if you want.
The evidence against Saavedra included a jailhouse call.
I did an armed robbery.
You robbed somebody?
Yes.
You pointed a gun at him?
Yes.
A jury found Saavedra guilty of 5 counts of armed robbery with a firearm enhancement. The district attorney's office asked for a sentence of 23 years, 8 months in state prison.
When you talk about armed robbery, we are talking about a type of crime that truly puts lives at risk.
The probation department's pre-sentence report recommended a 15-year sentence. But the public defender argued Saavedra is a first-time offender, that he was pressured to commit the robberies by an older adult, and that he should get out on probation right away. No more jail time.
He's the perfect person for that. They could come up with a plan. They could do what San Franciscans pay him to do, which is give resources, right? Set up a comprehensive plan.
At the hearing Wednesday, Judge Brian Farrell gave Saavedra 4 years, 8 months in state prison. With time served, he could be back on the streets in less than 2 years.
And so that's telling you that the courts are signaling that there's not much value being placed on even violent crime in San Francisco. And so that serves as a lack of an incentive for people not to come here and commit those acts.
Public defender Elizabeth Camacho told the court she'll be appealing under the Racial Justice Act, saying minorities receive harsher punishments. Camacho also accused Judge Farrell of racial bias against both her, a Mexican-American, and her client, complaining about his skepticism and facial expressions and tone when making comments that can't be captured by the record.
You told the judge right to his face that you felt as though he was making faces, using an inappropriate tone with you that was indicative of racial bias.
I don't want to talk about that specifically because that is also a point that's being litigated.
That's at the next hearing. Now, Jenkins argues this case could have turned out like Ricky Pearsall. The 49er shot last August because a robber wanted his Rolex. But it appears that night, Saavedra did not have bullets in his ghost gun, though he did have a magazine with bullets in his jacket pocket at the time. So they consider that to be a loaded weapon if you have the bullets right there.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Dan.